That's dope.
Welcome back to the channel. Adam22 was recently on the Joe Budden podcast. Ish and Joe Budden and Ice pressed Adam about him monetizing black trauma. Let's just get into it. I want to see what's going on. I want to give my 2 cents and see if there's any validity to what they're saying whatsoever. Let's do it.
We're going crazy here.
Which one? What's it say? Read it, man.
I ain't reading.
The billionaire black.
I ain't reading it neither, yo. I'm up with energy and vibes and frequencies. I can't read. You read it. It's yours, nigga. You put it out.
Which one?
Any of them. Read that one right there. Hey, Alex, put the arrow above the one you wanted to read.
Oh, I didn't know you'd be.
Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, that one right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I interviewed.
Yeah, that one. That one.
The new version of the podcast is dope, but if you know, you know. The old version was just amazing. Their 16, 17, 18 run, crazy.
FBG Cash, and this is a clip from the interview. FBG Cash claims Lil Durk told him to take a photo at King Von's mural.
Okay.
Rest in peace, King Von.
Rest in peace, FBG Cash.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is like a this is not just an isolated incident.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's what he talked about in the interview. That's what he talked about.
That was it?
Not funny to me.
I mean, that's
Not at all.
It's an important thing he talked about.
It's not playing no fucking games. That's
microcosm
not funny
of
to
this
me.
business and what goes
That's
on
not funny
and
to
how
me.
some people look at black artists, black lives. Like, come on, Adam, you got a bigger responsibility than this as a multi-millionaire from fucking hip hop.
Truth bomb.
Truth bomb.
I know
Okay,
all
bro.
the guys. Listen, I know many guys from O Block, right? I've been there. I know these guys are interviewing.
It just sounds weird him saying it. It just sounds weird.
Well, none of them have told me that they think these titles are in any way out of line, because to them it just seems like common sense. If you're gonna interview,
Kind of can't really prove that, but let's just say what he's saying is true.
Talk about
Okay.
Now you sound like a label head.
No, now I'm tight, kinda. I ain't gonna hold you. Think about this.
This interview came out. He had no complaints.
How-
None of the O Block
Adam,
guys had
let
any
me ask you-
complaints.
let me ask
You
you
guys are so much more sensitive than the actual gang members.
You know why? Because we're in our 40s. Stop.
And not wrapped up in this at all.
No, let me finish. No. He's saying
Him saying that he's in his 40s is him saying that we're older, we're more mature, we live more life, and we understand what they're doing is wrong, and they might not understand because they're young and they're dumb. Okay, granted.
he's saying
Another thing, he said they are more sensitive than the actual people doing the things. Okay, they're not more sensitive. They just know what's going on. Back to my original point, they're older, they know what they're doing is wrong. They're young, they're dumb, they might not know because they're from the inner city, etc., etc., etc. Okay, let's continue.
we're more sensitive. We're the young black people that are these kids' parents.
Okay.
These are our little brothers. These are our fucking nephews that are outside killing each other, and you white people are now interviewing them.
What about when they went? What about when he went on those music and dissed all his ops in the
Can I
music
please
so
finish?
that I could then later ask him about it in interviews?
Dog,
right?
I would love to finish.
Finish.
He ain't making the money you are. You sitting there interviewing these.
Okay, he's saying that they're the uncle and aunt of these are their nephews. He's saying that he's more, they are closer to the situation. You are far removed, and you don't get what's going on, even though you understand that these people have problems. You don't have any tightly coupled emotions because you're outside of the community. Okay, granted, I can get that. And him not making the kind of money that they're making is like they're making some sort of money, but they're not making the money you're making. It's kind of fucked up because you're making money off of their issue that they have. Okay, let's see how this develops.
Black kids that are fucking killing each other and y'all monetizing it. That's not cool. I don't give a fuck what they talking about in they songs. Y'all are turning a profit off of this black trauma of them killing each other. Yeah, they the ones doing the killing because they young and they dumb and they don't fucking know no better. We 45 and 46 years old and we know better because these are our nephews.
Okay.
So
They not your nephews, and that's why you don't see the Kevin Samuels shit in the same light that we see it, because you're a white dude and you don't understand what he is. Except Kevin Samuels was causing a black
drill rappers aren't worthy of being interviewed.
I'm not.
Not what boy said.
Bruh, you're not gonna spin my words. I'm sharp.
I mean, that's what I'm taking from what.
He said he's not gonna spin my words. I'm sharp. I get it, because boy didn't say that. He didn't say they're not worthy of being interviewed. Nice try, but that's not what dude was saying. That's nice try though.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I'm saying I asked him about his music and his content.
True. And what I'm telling you is he's 19, 20, 21 years old. He's going to give anything just to be on somebody's fucking camera and get some light shined on his project.
I interview
And
rappers
what I'm saying is
all the time.
he lost his life.
I interview rappers all the time.
These people
who
are losing their
in the
lives,
streets.
and you keep telling me about the business of.
And I interview them, and they don't
know
talk
better.
about crazy shit. No,
Adam.
because they do know better. I'm telling you,
which
most street rappers, when you interview them, are not gonna say shit about their ops, or they're not gonna whatever.
Older ones.
They're smart about it.
Older
right?
ones.
He was someone.
saying ops.
He was someone. That's a normal word to me. He was someone who was more open about the people he was beefing with. Obviously, he's like Lil Durk's top op while he was living, right? And so he's talking about his problems with Lil Durk because that's a prominent theme in his music and stuff.
Stop. This ain't funny.
Top op. Dude, like, I'm not saying dude don't talk like this. Don't know the dude. Not saying that. That shit just sounds funny. That's his top op. Okay.
People who say
Parks, it's not funny, Parks. Stop.
His enemy is a word that has been used for as long
His
as
mortal enemy.
he's talking about this stuff in his content. So I asked him about it during the interview because that's what a lot of his content is about. Of course, I want to know about the conflict that he has with one of the top rappers that he has beef with.
True.
How can I not ask these guys about the shit they're making music about?
You're not saying one wrong thing.
Right.
You are not saying one wrong thing. What I'm saying is, I find it somewhat disturbing that somebody that is outside of what these boys endure on a day-to-day basis, interviewing them and monetizing it for your own personal gain when these kids are dying. This is them and their family's trauma that you guys are monetizing to turn a fucking profit. And you're calling it journalism. That's not fucking journalism.
They're gaining from it as well.
No, they're not.
Yes,
they're losing.
It's promoting his music career. There's a reason why these dudes, in particular, you got Ruga and FBG Cash on the screen. They both fly to Los Angeles to do an interview with.
He's saying that they do gain from it too. They do. Something. Not as much as him, I guess, to a certain degree, because I feel like them. Okay. Him recording them and doing an interview, that video thus becomes the product and he makes money particularly off that video, and that can be measured, opposed to them coming to the show on his platform and getting some sort of shine, which will hopefully result in their project selling more, thus making some money. So I kind of can see how people are kind of like, no, they're not benefiting as much as you are, because your benefiting is kind of more so guaranteed, opposed to them are just kind of getting a look, and you want to hope that translates into money. It's not the same. It is helping them, but it's not the same. Your layers of getting money is very short opposed to theirs, and it's kind of more guaranteed. Okay.
Because it's promoting their career and their business that they're building for themselves. The fact that FBG Cash got into this random ass situation where his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend shot him or whatever the fuck it was. What does that have to do with anything? That's just some bullshit that happened after the fact.
Wait, stop, Ice. You just said stop, Ice. Yo, you and...
Okay, so... Okay. Hold up. Ice looks upset. It's like... Okay, because dude said, or he got shot or whatever, like he's kind of downplaying or making the death of that person really, really small. I can kind of see that. Boy, don't take it as seriously as them because he don't see a reflection in the people. Okay.
Girlfriend, you said you and your...
I was just saying that to make it clear that he didn't die over some gang shit. Like, it's not like he got killed by a rival gang member that he talked about in my interview. He got into some totally separate shit.
Listen.
Valid point.
You and your fiance...
He didn't do that.
You said you guys got proposed to by somebody to do content.
Right.
You turned it down.
Right.
Why'd you turn it down?
Because we ultimately decided that we could do a fine job on our own.
You found black friends growing up?
No, time out. You found another way to monetize your content.
I seen that. You had black friends when you were growing up. He said, that's something. That's something.
And cut them out.
Right.
You didn't need them.
Right.
They need you.
No.
You just said they needed you.
They need me.
That's kind of a straw man argument of saying that he needs them, because he can always respond saying they don't need me because other people have made it without being on One Jumper or being on his podcast, and there's other podcasts that you can go to besides his. So you can't really pin the fact that they need him on him. You can't really do that. It's kind of a weak argument. You can't really pin that on him, because you can always say, hey, you can go somewhere else that does more numbers, similar numbers to his show.
want to do content and reach out to my
Because
audience.
you just said 2 sentences ago, my last question, that
FBG
they
Cash
both...
had videos with millions of views before anybody interviewed him.
I don't care.
Okay.
You just said that they profited and you profited. That's what you said.
It's a mutual relationship.
They don't know enough. It's like me taking a 17-year-old girl or 18.
This is a grown man. He just did like 7 years in prison before he did this interview. How can you just treat him like a child and say...
In this particular instance, I think the video that they're pointing to, this gentleman is older. But I think a lot of the people that come on, how they're framing the argument, how the people that come on the show are usually younger dudes. So him pointing to this one instance of him being an adult doesn't nullify the point that they're trying to make of you bringing on young people who aren't that bright. But they got to take accountability too. But we're going to get to the accountability piece.
Doesn't know enough.
Because mentally he's going on songs bragging about his fucking killings. That means he
that
don't
seems
know
like
enough.
an exaggeration. I don't know that he bragged about killing anyone. He'd probably be in prison if that was the case. He raps about street shit, right?
He rap about street shit.
What I'm saying is this.
He keep alive.
Yeah, he does. Everybody that's grown ain't grown mentally. You agree with that or no?
So you think I should
I'm
be
asking
doing
you a
like some
question.
sort of
I would love for you
intelligence
to-
evaluation? Should I
No,
give them like a quiz where
no,
I have to prove that their IQ is high enough before?
Well, yeah, I think you should be doing that.
No,
but
he don't have to do that. What I'm at?
That's bullshit. Should I give them an IQ test to see if they're smart enough to be on the show? I guess they're kind of trying to. I guess they're asking him, dude, if they're into bullshit, just don't ask them about the bullshit. Ask them about the music. And he's saying that the music has the bullshit in it, so people want to hear about that. But I feel like you can ask about the music without asking about the bullshit. To be honest, I feel like you can do that.
You is, do you agree with me, yes or no, that every grown person in age is not necessarily the sharpest knife in the drawer mentally?
That's true.
Do I agree that there's a range of intelligence?
Well,
Yes,
this
of
guy
course.
won't
Yeah,
answer it.
sure.
Okay, cool.
Are there smart
That's
people?
true.
Are there dumb people? Of
I'm
course.
sure it's not.
Yo,
Hey, for him to have a problem with what I did up there,
Yo.
he ain't answering a fucking
Y'all
thing
both-
up
y'all
there.
both-
There are
Y'all
smart
wanna
people
go-
and there are dumb people.
Alright,
This is
I also like how Joe is kind of letting Ish take the lead on this, and it's kind of like Ish's, like this is kind of an ISO for Ish, to be honest. This I like that. This is pretty good. It's not really a Joe Adam22 thing. It's more of an Ish Adam22 thing. I like that.
easy.
all right, cool. So some people, would you agree also, are more easily manipulated than others?
Sure, yeah.
Cool. Okay. So in them doing this, they're coming on your platform because your platform is huge,
Okay.
right? So do you agree that them coming on your platform, you said it already, that it has a benefit for them as well as you?
Of course, yeah.
So do you also think that you are monetizing this black beef trauma shit that these boys are going through?
I mean, incidentally, yes. I am monetizing it because when
So
we
you
make
admitted it,
content on YouTube,
incidentally.
it's monetized by default. But that being
Incidentally.
said, this is content that the people clearly wanted to see. You see the view counts. These guys are popular. People want to hear from them. There's tons of other platforms interviewing them.
So that's your rule. If people want to see it, I'm putting it out. It don't matter about
Because
life.
Yeah,
I mean, but
Black
you realize
people.
I actually like this music.
Because-
You realize I listen to drill music, right? So these people are people I'm genuinely interested in meeting and having conversations
I get
with,
it.
and then I put it online.
get
Hold
it.
up.
Okay.
Hold up.
Yo,
Hold on. Hey.
But you know what?
Wait.
Pass the ball. Pass the ball. Pass the ball.
About how that's not a fan. That's not a fan.
No, I actually listen to it. Like, actually,
Awesome.
that is the music I like the most in the world.
But
Same, but go
your
ahead, you finish.
your behavior and your train of thought isn't aligned with the well-being of these people. You just listening to songs.
Let me give
You don't really give a fuck about any of these people.
Why? That's such an extreme leap for you to take.
No,
It's true.
Wait, stop.
Listen,
Why?
wait, stop. Well, let me read some of your shit.
These are people I interviewed and then continued to have relationships with.
Cash.
Joe Budden's saying you don't particularly care about them, and he's saying that's not true. You're kind of making a leap. Not necessarily. If these people are coming on to your show and you have them talk about certain things and certain people, and if you're a fan of the music and you know what happens, like if you're a fan of the music, a fan of these artists, and you know the lore of the music, you know who this person's talking about in this music, and you bringing him on the show and having him talk about it on your huge platform, because it is pretty big. No Jumper is huge. And igniting or adding fuel to the flame, you can't say you care to a certain degree because you know what kind of world they live in. If you ignite it, you know the end result's going to be something not nice. They're not going to pull up for a tea party. They're going to pull up for something else. That's kind of that's a bit disingenuous.
reacts to FBG Duck's mom. Like, you putting moms in this
She
shit.
dissed him.
What the fuck business is that of
She's
yours?
a YouTuber. She's a whole personality out here. Everybody knows her.
This guy's going
Even
crazy.
Soft.
She is.
I'm gonna give you an example.
This
Like
guy's going
you said,
crazy.
you listen to Drew. They all know that's the narrative about me. That's all I listen to. Not true, but that's the narrative.
Okay.
We sat down with an artist from the South. I'm not even gonna say his name. Folks who are familiar with him know who he's beefing with. He's been beefing with. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah.
Not once did we ask him anything about that.
Nope. And could
Had an
They're
entire
showing you that you can
amazing
do it.
interview. Had an amazing interview.
You got a cookie?
Cookies?
Chicken wings.
Oh, it's
Boy, not taking none of this seriously. Boys having a whole point or showing them the hey, because they're in similar spaces. They're in the hip hop media space. They're in very similar spaces, and relatively similar in size, give or take, whoever. Right? He made a point that hey, I interviewed a certain type of artist that you interview. We had an amazing interview, and we did not talk about the things that you talk about. So it can be done. The product can be good. You don't have to do it. And him kind of deflecting and talking about something else is very telling. He kind of had him on the ropes, and he did not want to answer the question. We'll see.
He's a chicken
Did
wing.
not ask him about that one time.
At all.
Right.
At all.
Because we're not trying to
'Cause you are
shed light
promoting
on that.
that.
We're not trying to promote
You are
that.
promoting
You
that.
are still an artist. There's more to you than that.
Right.
And
We
that's
don't need to sit there and clickbait that.
And that's the problem. We delved into who this kid is as a person, what he grew up and what he endured in growing up. Y'all don't give a fuck. Y'all care about what the people are gonna go to immediately.
What can we put out here to get clicks? Fuck what happens because of this. Fuck if anything comes back after this.
And this shit is detrimental to these boys, evidently, for they
can we
fucking
click?
dying, and
comment-
y'all could give two fucks about it because
And-
y'all turning a penny from it.
Wait,
And
wait,
another-
that's
hold
my
on,
only beef. That's
time
my
out.
only beef.
Another weed is gonna grow right where that one grew.
That's my only.
When he dies, it's gonna be another fucking drill rapper to come take his place that we gonna interview and
I
monetize
would like
as
to
well.
respond to that.
That's ugly, bro.
And here's my issue. I ain't seen one BMX biker nigga up there yet.
They are. They
He
just
done
don't get
left the
any views.
BMX niggas, came to hip
Because no
hop,
jumper
did this
BMX, and you
shit.
can find tons of BMX content that we make that incidentally
Where's
ends
the
up on
BMX
the
nigga that died where you went to his mom and said, yo, this nigga died, he got shot in the fucking head, his mom said, fuck these niggas over. Where's that from the niggas you fuck with, you little biker
I'm not
niggas?
aware of any sort of situation like that with BMX riders.
No, and get
Let's pause. Hard stop. He's not aware of any when he said he's not aware of any situations about someone in BMX dying or over some gang violence. Cool. That was an example. That's not really the argument. The argument is I don't see you interviewing people from other spaces, other professions, whatever, and promoting or asking them about whatever drama they're dealing with, whether it's with another person, a peer, a label, whoever's whatever drama that they have, because everyone has drama. You're not doing that in other spaces for other people, and that's telling. If that's true, 'cause I didn't check, I don't know if that's true or not. But if that's the case, that's very telling.
But I don't see none of these BMX shits with no 600,000 and 700,000 views neither.
Yeah.
So it's
That
more
goes back
money
to
in the
people-
nigga trauma.
It is more money.
I mean,
in
I
it.
interview rappers that I like, and then I ask them.
Whether you like it or not is not the issue. It's not the issue. He keeps saying like, well, I am interested in it because they're kind of trying to paint him or position him as like you are a person outside. Like you're outside the club, you're not really in, but you're profiting from it. And by him saying, hey, I am a legitimate fan of these things, which means he's trying to say, I'm in this thing. I'm in the culture. I am a part of this. That does not relinquish you from. They're not relinquishing you from what you're doing, because Ice is also in it, probably just as much as some, if not more. And he did an interview. They done an interview without breaking up the bullshit. So, okay, nice try.
Out problems that they have with other rappers that they are open about on records.
Because what?
Because I'm interested and because I know that the fans are interested.
Because
Yo,
you
what's
know
with y'all's?
that's gonna
What's with
lead
y'all's?
to-
The idea that that's wrong when I'm
What-
basically
what's-
just describing YouTube.
What
You
is your-
interview people, you ask them about the shit that people are actually interested in. You guys trying to somehow find a way to make this evil deed.
I'm asking
Impressive.
about your
It's impressive
fascination with
storytelling.
Black
I
trauma.
will give you that.
No, I
This
was-
is impressive
I was
storytelling.
on
You're
your
adding
team at
this
first.
weird narrative
Nah.
to what I'm doing. that I don't think is accurate at
Adam,
all.
it's up there. It's not us. We reading your shit.
But you're creating this narrative that I'm just doing this because that's like, I don't know, because I want to see these people die.
No.
Knock it off, about this shit because it's important to them, and then I ask them about it in interviews because it's important to them and people want to know.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think, like the example I gave you, do you think you could sit down with one of these artists, interview them about them?
Right.
Without the drama.
I do that all the time. And a lot of people just don't say shit. You'll ask them, so what was this line in this song? Was that about so-and-so?
But that's not what I said. That's not what he said.
No, that's not what I said.
Just not answering your question.
Can I do an interview in which I don't ask them anything interesting? Yes, of course. I think that's sub.
Not ask them anything interesting? Nah, dude. Red flag on the play. He did not say interesting. He said the bullshit. The drama, can you do that? Not saying that it's not interesting. That's also very telling.
I'd rather do an interview that answers all the shit that the fans want to know.
Why you can't find something interesting without that?
Without death.
I think that's very interesting. Why does it have to go to death? You're just assuming that everyone's just dying left and right. Most rappers who beef with each other do not die at the end of the beef. It's just fucking words. It's rap.
That's where you see, and that's the disconnect. These niggas are really dying. This ain't just rap beef.
He knows.
This is not rap beef. This is street beef.
Okay, so if Adam is saying that if he's saying that most rappers who go back and forth don't die, it's just rap. It's like, hey, that's the disconnect. They actually are dying. I think both parties are on the wrong. And both parties are on the wrong. Adam22 knows what he's doing. He knows that if he brings these people on, it's going to ignite something. But maybe he don't care. I don't know the gentleman. Maybe he just doesn't care. It seemed like he doesn't care because he's still doing it, right? Unless he has a perspective where he sees people not dying. But every other day you see a rapper dying in the news, cool. Them expecting him, M22, to care, kind of crazy. Boy, not going to care because nothing's going to happen to him. No one cares. Nothing's going to happen to dude whatsoever, right? But it's also the accountability piece. The rappers have to stop going on there and answering them questions. Like, it's the same thing with Vlad. If Vlad asks you an incriminating question, cool, he can ask the question. Don't answer the question. Ignore the question. Say no comment. I'm not answering that. We have too many instances of something being used on an interview to indict or get someone into some trouble with law enforcement. So don't do it. As someone asking you an incriminating question. Don't do that. Now, you having issues with the ops, I wouldn't do that either, but it has to be accountability piece. They shouldn't be up there, shouldn't be saying it. None of this should be happening whatsoever. But I don't think you should expect Adam22 to do anything. Like, find some way to get Boy out the culture, to be honest, if that's the case, because he obviously don't care. You can see it multiple times in him being pressed. He's just like, it is what it is. I'm trying to get paid. Whatever. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Nigga, I'm ghost.
That's dope.